Hey guys, it's Spiritually Mommy. Today I'm going to make a video that's a little bit different than I normally make. It's still pregnancy related, and I might give a little update on where I am with my pregnancy at the end, but I wanted to focus on this is really for nurses and all medical personnel, in addition to just the general public, as far as telling women or allowing women to believe that they can't have a natural childbirth, or that childbirth is going to be excruciatingly painful, and that they have to get the epidural, or they might as well get the epidural, because why would you deal with that pain and things like that. So I am 37 weeks, almost 38 weeks pregnant. This is not my first baby. This is my third baby. And when I had my first baby, I was 20 years old. I didn't think much into, my choices, what I really wanted as far as how the delivery went. I was completely afraid of the process, going through labor, going through delivery. I was terrified. So I already had it made up in my mind that I was going to get the epidural. I never thought twice about it. I didn't think, that's the only way that you have a baby. You get the epidural, you don't feel anything, you lay on your back, you push the baby out. And that's what I did. As time kind of went on, and, technology advanced and social media, and you kind of get to hear from a lot of other parents that went through, a lot of other mothers that's gone through childbirth, or women that's never experienced childbirth, but they are incredibly terrified of it, and I really started putting these pieces together, and I'm like, why are people so afraid? Why was I so afraid to have a baby when our bodies are literally made to do this? Our bodies are 100% capable of doing this. Are we doing it the wrong way? Is that why it's so painful? And I wanted to make this message to the nurses simply because, I had an experience, and I made a video, and I'll post it up above in the cards. But I had to go to labor and delivery, I don't know, maybe a week ago. And, it's in my birth plan now that I don't want any pain medication. Do not offer me any pain medication. Do not offer me, epidural or anything of the sort. And if you do, don't come back in my room. And that's because I have prepared myself mentally throughout this entire pregnancy to breathe through it, to think positively, to not need pain medication. And I don't need people in my room saying, if you're in pain, you can just get the pain medicine, or it'd be easier for you to get the pain medicine, or anything like that. So when I was in labor and delivery, this time and times before that, they would look at my chart, and my birth plan is stapled right at the beginning of in that folder. So anyone that comes in the room, they can kind of see it and look over it. And, when they see that I don't want to be offered any pain medicine, I don't want anything like that, they always kind of have this face, or they'll say, like, how are you going to do that? Or why are you doing that? You don't have to do that, or you're brave, or things like that, and that causes the fear. I'm much older now than I was with my first kid, but I was young then, and we tend to trust our nurses, we trust our doctors. So if our doctors make us feel like this is going to be excruciatingly painful, if they make us feel like this is going to be a scary experience, that's exactly what we think. We think, oh my gosh, I'm going to go into labor, these contractions are going to be terrible, I'm going to be so afraid to push, am I going to tear, what's going to happen, it's going to hurt so bad, I don't even want to deal with it, I'm just going to get the epidural, with no thought into anything past, I'm just going to get the epidural, because the people that we are made to trust with our care in our most vulnerable state, they're telling us this is going to hurt, this is going to be painful. How in the world are you going to do this without pain medication? Maybe not in those exact words, but I get it a lot. You have a lot of doctors, nurses, midwives, things like that, and they're completely supportive of natural labor and delivery. They're totally supportive, but not everyone is supportive, and not everyone believes that you can have a peaceful birth. Of course, it'll be intense. You're not gonna, it's not a nap on the beach, but it doesn't have to be like it is in the movies. And that's another thing. We see what we see on TV, what we see in the media. You see the woman laying on her back, and you see her screaming at the top of her lungs, and she's sweating and crying, and it's just a horrible, stressful, terrible experience. And that's what we see, paired with what we are told by a lot of the people in the medical field. And I don't know if it's just because they're unaware as well, but I think those types of comments need to be thoughts. Some thoughts are just better as thoughts, and I don't think that anybody in the medical field should encourage one way or the other. Get an epidural, or even if a woman is laboring and you see that she's in pain, the first thing you say should not be, we have this pain medication, we have this epidural, if you want the epidural, we can get it. We all know what's out there. If the woman comes to you, if the mom comes to you and says, okay, I want this, totally fine, then take the steps appropriate. And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with getting an epidural, if there's anything wrong with accepting the pain relief or anything like that. I'm just saying women should be allowed to make that choice without outside influence, because someone else is going to tell them that it's scary. Once I got the epidural with my first kid, I got the epidural and everything went so fast. I honestly and truly could have done it without the epidural. I didn't experience pain past 5 centimeters dilated, but as fast as it went, and I definitely could have done that without the pain medicine. And I regret not having that experience, because for me with the epidural, I don't really remember much. Most of my memories when I had my first kid is before the epidural. I remember my first contraction. I remember getting to the hospital. I remember, all the people coming in and out. I remember everything up until the epidural, and then there's bits and pieces that I remember, and of course what people tell me. But then after my baby was born, I was so exhausted. My body was worn out. Even though I couldn't feel anything physically yet, I was exhausted. So I couldn't even enjoy those first few moments of my baby being born. And it was like that, the second time around as well. I got the epidural, and this time I want to be present the entire time. And I don't want to lay on my back. I might make another video about just kind of go over my birth plan, I think. Just explain what it is that I want, why I want those things. No judgment to anyone that chooses anything differently. It's just, my choice. But if you are pregnant, if you are afraid of labor and delivery, if you have never had a baby and you're not pregnant, and you just have this idea in your mind that you have this idea in your mind that childbirth is going to be dreadful and excruciating, put some more thought into that. Why do we think that childbirth is going to be that painful? And there's so many women, especially now that hypnobirthing is, as popular as it is. There's so many women, there's so many supportive nurses and midwives and doctors and doulas, and because they're educated on hypnobirthing. They're educated on childbirth, period. The real childbirth, not the excruciating, let me give you this pain medication so you can just not feel anything. They're educated on how breathing and how you're thinking and how your ability to calm your body and relax your body and not tense your body up, not causing that adrenaline to take over, and you cutting your oxytocin off. Your body releases oxytocin, and it's like the feel-good hormone, and that's what helps you deliver a baby. That feel-good hormone, that melatonin you're going to start releasing, But as soon as you tense up and you allow that fear, I can't do it, I'm afraid, I'm scared, then you release that fight or flight response, and then your thoughts go completely negative, and then you become afraid, and your body starts to react that way. Your body starts to react like, oh gosh, I need to shut down, I need to protect myself, I need to get away, and that's what your body starts to do. Not trying to push this baby out, trying to lock things up because I have to protect myself. And you don't want to lock things up when you're having a baby. You kind of want to open things up, and it's very simple. It's very, very simple, and it should be a beautiful experience for every woman that goes through childbirth. It should be a very memorable experience. And if they want to get pain medicine, because they want to get pain medicine, that's totally fine. But medical personnel, even family members, I see a lot of first-time moms. I'm in like support groups and things like that, and I see a lot of first-time moms asking for experiences on childbirth. And I was reading one yesterday, just the thread, and all of these women, they're like, oh, it was terrible, I was in labor for X amount of hours, and thank God for the epidural, and it was just terrifying. Like, I've experienced childbirth before, a mother that's never experienced it, and reading all these horror stories about how painful it's going to be. That's kind of where she's going to go, and that's where she's going to go in her mind before she even has her first contraction. That's where she's going to go in her mind. And it's just so unfortunate that we are so uneducated on how amazing our bodies actually are, how strong we actually are. And a lot of that is because it's spread in large masses, just how terrible it is, from media to your should be trusted medical staff to, your friends and family telling you their horrible experiences, because that's what, the same thing. It's just a cycle. They were afraid of that, and sometimes things don't go as planned, and it gets really hard and things like that in labor and delivery, and things do happen. But I won't even listen to negative birth stories. I won't listen to it in person. I won't watch videos on it. I won't read about them. I don't want that in my mind, because it doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't have to be that way, but if you allow yourself to think that, that's what you will attract, and you will physically shut your body down, because it's going to try to protect yourself with the fight or flight response, and it's not what you want when you're having a baby. So look into hypnobirthing. Hypnobirthing, when people hear that, for some reason they think that there's a pendulum swinging and you're going to be hypnotized, and I'm not into that sort of thing. But that's not what it is at all. It's really teaching you the strength of your own body, the strength of your own mind, and encouraging you, just as someone would encourage you to get an epidural, just as someone would encourage you or tell you that this is going to be painful. This is telling you that there can be peace. You can be at peace. You can be calm. You can be relaxed. You can breathe through this. You can get through this. Listen to the positivity over the negativity. We're more inclined to believe the negative, and that's because it's around us so much. So go searching out for the positive. And for the nurses, whether you're the patient or you're the nurse or doctor, if you're the patient, tell them, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear the negativity. If I ask, fine, but don't make it an option for me. Don't make that decision for me by putting it in my mind over and over and over again. So this video is already much longer than I thought it was going to be. Hopefully you guys get to the end of the video. If you do get to the end of the video, you're still here, you hung out with me for the entire time, post, comment positivity, comment positive birth under the video, whether you've had a child, whether you're pregnant with a child, whether you've never had a kid, but you want to start looking into that, because you have this fear that's been embedded in you since the beginning, and you're not even at that point in your life yet. Comment positive birth down below, and that's all I have for you. I will be coming with an update, pregnancy update, on Tuesday. Today is Sunday. So my next appointment is Tuesday with my doctor, and I will be updating you guys on what's going on. So keep a lookout for that video. Make sure you subscribe and turn on your notification bell so that you don't miss that video and all the videos thereafter. So thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next video. Bye.